Hi and welcome back to the channel. It's Made from Made Crochet. And today we'll be making this daisy hat. You'll need 3 different colors and a weight for yarn. I suggest a white and a yellow and then a main color of your choice. I'm using a 3.5mm hook and you'll also need scissors. Let's get right into it. To get started, go ahead and make a magic circle. Into the circle, you're going to insert 12 single crochet. Then you're going to slip stitch to join at the beginning of the round. And close your magic loop. You're going to chain up 1, pull up a loop and cut. I like to tie a knot with my 2 ends just to make sure it's extra secure. So I do 1 and then I do 2. This step is optional. Go ahead and grab your second color and insert your hook under any one of the stitches and attach your yarn by pulling up a loop. And from here, you're going to chain up 4. We're going to make a treble crochet cluster by crocheting 3 treble crochets together. This first chain 4 does count as a treble crochet. To make the cluster, you're going to start your treble crochet as usual by yarning over twice. And the only thing that changes is the last 2 loops. You don't pull through them. You actually start your next treble crochet. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and stop. So at this point you'll have 3 loops on your hook, one of the loops being from the chain 4, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops and chain up 1. And that's the first cluster. So now we're going to go ahead and make our next cluster in the stitch beside it. The main difference is this cluster doesn't start with the chain 4, so it does look a bit different. So go ahead and start your treble crochet as normal, but don't pull through the last 2 loops. And then repeat that 2 more times, all in the same exact stitch. Okay, that was the second time. So this is the last time we're doing it. And this time you'll actually have 4 loops on your hook. Okay, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops and chain 1. So the rest of the clusters will all be like this second one. So go ahead and repeat that in every single stitch in the round. So we just finished the chain 1. I'll repeat that with you one more time. So you're going to yarn over twice, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and again yarn over twice, go into the same stitch and don't pull through the last 2 loops. And this is the third and final time. 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and chain 1. These white parts are actually the petals of the daisy, and you want to have a total of 12 when you finished, and we had 12 stitches to start. So I'll meet you here at the beginning of the round. So I just finished my last petal in my chain 1. So to end off the row, we're going to slip stitch to join into that first stitch of the round, and chain up 1 and cut. So now that your flower is done, we're going to take our main color and attach in any one of the chain 1 spaces. It doesn't matter which one. I'll go right here and inserting my hook and throwing my yarn over. You want to leave a little bit of a tail end. So we're going to pull up a loop. We're going to chain 1. We're actually going to work in this tail end just to make sure it's very secure. So we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. With that tail end, okay? And we'll finish the last chain 4 with the regular yarn that's coming from the ball. We do this just to make sure there's no way that this is coming undone in any circumstance. And I also like to continue working it in these following stitches. So we're going to insert 2 more treble crochet into this chain 1 space. So I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. And when I pull through 2, I'm actually going to pull that tail end into that. Do you see how I just worked it in? Well, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to yarn over for both of the loops. So when I pull the yarn coming from the ball, I'm also pulling up the tail end of the yarn. Okay, and I'm going to do that one more time. I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull through with the tail end being there. And these are regular treble crochet, they're not clusters. And I'm going to do that one more time, another triple crochet right in that stitch. So at this point, I do feel like that tail end is really secure, but it is kind of long, so I'm going to keep on working it in, but you don't have to at all. So now it's basically integrated into all these stitches. It's basically weaved in already, so you can cut it at virtually any time and it's going to be really secure. I'm still not going to cut it. I'm going to continue to work it in further down during the project. So after you completed 3 triple crochets in this corner, you're going to chain 1, and we're going to insert 3 double crochet into the next stitch. Again, these are regular double crochets. They are not clusters at all. And after you insert 3, you chain 1, and then the next chain 1 space again. It's going to be 3 regular double crochets and chain 1. Ignore this is yarn that's just been tied together. So after 2 sets of 3 double crochet, we go back to the treble crochet. So this is our corner, and to do the corner, you're actually going to insert 3 treble crochet into this corner and chain 1, and then you're going to insert 3 more treble crochet into the same exact corner that you just were in, like this. Now you've completed your first corner. From there, you're going to chain 1 and go in with 3 double crochets and a chain 1 in the next chain 1 space, and in the next chain 1 space again 3 double crochets and chain 1. So after you do 2 sets of 3 double crochets, that's how you know if you've met your corner again. And for your corner, you're going to use treble crochets. So again, that is 3 treble crochet, chain 1, and back into that same chain 1 space with 3 more treble crochet and chain 1. Okay, so this would be our second completed corner. So you just repeat that pattern. You do in the next chain space 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then you'll meet a corner after doing that, and that's 3 treble crochet, chain 1, 3 triple crochet, chain 1, all in the same chain space, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. Here I just did my 3 double crochet, chain 1, and I'm back at the beginning of where I started. So we're going to go back into the very first chain 1 space that we began with and insert 3 more triple crochet all into that same stitch, chain up 1, and slip stitch to join at the top of that chain 4. So now you have a square completed. You'll need 5 of these in total. If this is your first square, go ahead, chain up 1 and cut your work. If it's anything else, keep the yarn attached because we're going to start attaching the squares. We're going to be attaching with single crochet. You can see if I flip it on this side, you can see all of the single crochets facing the same way. That's very important while you're attaching your squares, that these are not mismatched and they're all facing on the same side, or it will look very odd. So now I'm going to show you how to attach the squares, and don't worry that I already have some connected because it's the same process no matter which square you're attaching. Like I said, if this isn't your first square, you kept the yarn attached to the square. So you ended on this corner, so go ahead and take another corner of another square and line up your granny squares. You're then going to chain up 1 and go under that chain 1 space and under the chain 1 space on the other square that you're trying to connect it to. And then you're going to go in with a single crochet. You're going to line up all your stitches and just insert 1 single crochet under the first stitch on the first square and the stitch behind it on the other square. And you're going to do that all the way down, including the chain 1 spaces. Insert a single crochet under the chain 1 spaces as well. And I'll meet you here at the corner. I start in the chain 1 space and I also end in the chain 1 space. So this is the chain 1 space in the first square and the chain 1 space on the square behind it. And I just finish with a single crochet, chain up 1, cut my work. And then you just want to repeat that until you have all 5 squares connected like this. But now we're going to go ahead and get started at the top of the hat, which is a hexagon granny square. So you're going to start off with the slip knot, and then you're going to do chain 4 and slip stitch to join in the very first chain, or you can make a magic ring or circle. From here, you're going to chain up 3, and this counts as a double crochet. And we're going to work all of our stitches for this round into the circle you just created. So you're going to insert 2 more double crochet into the circle, chain 1, then 3 double crochet into the circle, and chain 1. We're going to repeat adding 3 double crochet, chain 1 until we have a total of 5 of these. So right here was my 5th 3 double crochet, chain 1. So I'm going to slip stitch to join into that first stitch to complete round 1. From here, I'm going to chain up 3, which does count as a stitch, and turn my work. From here, I'm going to insert 2 double crochets into the same chain space that we just made, and chain 1, and into every following chain 1 space, we're going to insert 3 double crochets, chain 1, and go back into the stitch and do 3 more double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, so into the next chain 1 space, we got 3 double crochets and chain 1, and back into that same stitch with 3 double crochets, chain 1. So repeat that in all the chain 1 spaces, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. So here we are back at the beginning of the round. This is the first chain stitch we went into. So we're going to insert 3 double crochets into that space. Then we're going to chain up 1 and slip stitch to join at the top of the first stitch. And that completes round 2. To get started on round 3, we're going to chain up 3 and turn our work. And we're going to work into that same chain 1 space we just made with 2 double crochets and then a chain 1, and the chain 3 did count as a stitch. And in the next chain 1 space, we're just going to do 3 double crochets and a chain 1. And we're going to make a corner here after 3 double crochet, chain 1. So the corners are what we were just doing. So when you do 3 double crochet, chain 1, and go back into the same exact stitch and do 3 more double crochets and a chain 1. Okay, this one's not a corner, right? You can see the corners over here, and this is flat. So when it's not a corner, you simply just do the 3 double crochets and the chain 1. But when it is a corner like here, you do it twice. So you do 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then you go back into the same stitch again and do 3 double crochet, chain 1, like that. So repeat that. In the non-corners, do 3 double crochet, chain 1, but in the corners, do 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. Here I am at my last 3 double crochet, chain 1, and we're going to finish out this last corner. So go back into the very first chain 1 space that we started in and insert 3 double crochets into that stitch, and then you're going to chain 1 and slip stitch to join at the top of the very first stitch. The great thing about granny squares is they get really repetitive, so this is going to be our final round. We're going to chain up 3, turn our work, and work 2 more double crochet into the same stitch, and the chain 3 did count as a stitch. So that's 1, 2, chain 1, and the pattern remains exactly the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are our corners. So in your corners, you put corners, and in your non-corners, you just do 3 double crochet, chain 1. I'm just here to show you one final last time again. So this is not a corner. So you do 3 double crochet and chain 1, and this is a corner, so you do 3 double crochet, chain 1, and then back into that same exact stitch again with 3 double crochet, chain 1, right? So also the pattern here is you have 2 3 double crochet, chain 1 in between every corner. So do that once, and then twice, and then a corner, once, and then twice, and then a corner. So repeat that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. Here we are, just finishing off the round. This is the first chain space that we worked into, so you know the drill. Insert 3 double crochets into chain 1 into that same space, and then slip stitch to join at the top of the very first stitch. This was actually our final round for the pentagon, but don't chain up 1 and cut your work. We're going to start attaching the daisy squares to the top of the hat. Here you want to chain up 1 and insert your hook under the chain 1 space of the top of the hat, and take this top corner of the daisy squares attached and insert it into that chain 1 space and attach with a single crochet. So it's exactly what we did before. You're just going to single crochet all of the sides together. This is basically just to give you a better understanding. So this side is going to go with this side is going to go with this side, and you basically just keep on folding it over and connecting with single crochet right here and here until it gets like this, like a little dome. So if I unfold it, all of these edges are going to connect to all of these edges of the pentagon. While you're connecting these, you do want to make sure that your single crochet are facing towards you, or else your stitches are going to be mismatched like I started doing. So now my single crochets are facing this way, when on the squares they're actually on the other side. So I'm going to actually have to restart this, and I'm going to turn it around like this and start attaching it the right way, because I should be able to see my single crochets while I'm doing this part of the project. I left this in here just in case anyone wanted like a visual representation of what this looks like. So again, you just line up each side and insert the single crochet. It's exactly similar to when you attach each granny square, but I know it might get a little bit confusing because the pentagon is a little bit of a weird shape. But yeah, I'm not really explaining anything here, so you can go ahead and jump to the next part if you feel like you have this part down. Once you finish going all the way around, you're going to have one flap open like this, but you're going to continue doing the same thing. Just line them up together and single crochet down this way, and I'll meet you at this corner. Attach these the same exact way you attach the rest of the daisy squares to each other. So you should have just inserted your last single crochet in the chain 1 space of these last 2 daisy squares. From here, we're going to chain up 3, and this counts as a double crochet. And then we're going to insert 1 double crochet into every single stitch, including the chain 1 spaces alongside the bottom of the hat. Let me show you this. Around here is the bottom of the hat. We're just inserting 1 double crochet into all of those stitches, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. So here we are with our last stitch, inserting my last double crochet, and as usual I'm going to slip stitch to join at the top of the first stitch. And feel free to not switch colors at all, or switch colors as many times as you would like during the brim part of the hat. We're going to go ahead and chain up 2 and just insert 1 half double crochet in every stitch around. Really simple, that's it, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. Just inserted my last half double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch to join at the beginning of the first stitch, and I'm actually going to chain up 1 and cut my work, because at this time I'm going to choose another color to attach. Like I said, you can continue with the color you had, or you can go ahead and switch colors now. So this round, if you're attaching, go ahead and attach and chain up 3. If you didn't switch colors, just chain up 3. This does count as a stitch. This is going to be a round of double crochet increase. So go back into the same stitch and insert a double crochet, and then insert 2 double crochet into each and every stitch in the round. And I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. So I just finished my last double crochet increase. Slip stitch to join in the top of the first stitch, chain up 1 and cut. If you're going to change colors, if you're not, skip this step. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach my next color. It's going to be yellow. Pull up a loop, chain up 2. If you didn't cut your work, just chain up 2 with the same color you had. And I'm going to insert 1 half double crochet into each and every stitch. So we're just going to repeat round 2 of the brim, and I'll meet you back at the beginning of the round. So I just inserted my last half double crochet. I'm going to slip stitch to join, chain up 1 and cut. Again, if you're not switching colors, skip this step. I'm going to go back again in with this cream color, attach and chain up 3, and no more increases, but we're going to go ahead and insert 1 double crochet into every stitch in the round, and I'll meet you at the beginning of the round. I just inserted my last double crochet, and I'm going to slip stitch to join at the top of the first stitch, chain up 1 and cut my work. Then I'm going to attach my blue color again, chain up 2, and I'm going to insert 1 half double crochet in every stitch in the round. Again, very simple row, no increases or anything, and I'll meet you at the end of this round. This is our last row, and I did just insert my last half double crochet, so I'm going to slip stitch to join at the top of the first stitch, chain up 1 and cut. You should have something that looks like this. Go ahead and weave in your ends. This is pretty much it, the final product. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.